morning, traders. Happy New Year to you all. May it be a great trading year. In this morning's cloud chart trading review, we'll be looking at the Nasdaq 100 E-minis futures contract. After a very strong November and December, very strong performance there, the Nasdaq became quite extended from the top end of the cloud and was moving within this resistance zone between 16,800 and 17,284. And it's consolidating back down after becoming a little bit extended there. Currently the Nasdaq's fighting for support here on the standard line. Could see a little relief rally from there if support comes back in at that zone, back to the bottom end of the turning line of the cloud there, as well as the front end cloud chart resistance zone. So these are the levels to watch out for. If support fails, there's a likelihood that we'll go right down to the next support zone, which can be these highs here. And if those support levels fail, then the downside risk is towards the top end of the cloud, yeah, this zone, yeah, the bottom end there, those levels there, as well as these levels there. But so critical for the Nasdaq to rebound from the standard line of the cloud, yeah. If support fails, we're going to dip back down to 16,300 zone basically, and if support fails at that level, we're going to be hitting the top end of the cloud, yeah, for support. So that's the major support zone for the next couple of weeks, the front end of the cloud. Price action still above the cloud, that's bullish from an Ichimoku cloud chart perspective. Price action below the cloud would ultimately be bearish. Let's take a look at the weekly chart quickly. You can see very extended from the top end of the cloud, and we can expect some form of a consolidation of this entire move back down to 16,312 on the weekly, testing the old highs there for support. So that's the downside support targets on the weekly, 16,300 basically. And if support fails at that zone, then back to the front end of the cloud. We can see the front end of the cloud, yeah, support zone is the support zone on the daily, with significant downside risk towards the top end of the cloud on the weekly over the next couple of weeks. But so far so good, pulling back after becoming very extended, but we did capture this rally from this cloud chart, cross rebound down here, the cloud crosses there, and then the rebound from the front end of the cloud there, becoming extended to the top end of the cloud, the old resistance zones there. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Bearish outlook now, price actions below the cloud. Watch out for the lagging line here to hit the support zone. So you can see potential rebound at these bottom end cloud chart support zones. These zones are all support zones now to the downside for potential support tests. This whole cluster, including that one there, that zone there. So currently testing 16,561. If that one fails, we could see this one zone here at 16,467, and the bottom end here at 16,385 zone. So these are the downside support targets, but watch out for potential snapback from this rally here, and then the upside potential would be the bottom end of the cloud resistance zone. But outlook is now kind of bearish on the 4-hour Ichimoku. If we take a look at the hourly, you can see their sell signal was there, quite from 17,000 all the way down to here. So that was a nice short trade on the futures contract there. Now levels to watch out for over here. Let's just make this a little bit smaller. You can see where this support zone comes from on the hourly. So watch out for a potential relief swing back up from the support zones here at 16,534. So fighting, if support fails at that zone, then we can dip back down below to 16,300, and we can see that from the 4-hour chart. But bearish outlook on the hourly. Any swing trades here are counter trend, and then on the 4-hour as well, you can see where those support zones are there, and on the daily, looking for potential support to come back in here. Let me just zoom in here. On the daily, the critical cluster of support here, we've now identified these support zones from the 4-hour and hourly chart. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to get a rebound from there. If not, then 16,300 is the next downside risk target on the Nasdaq E-minis. I also like to keep an eye on the 3-hour Ichimoku cloud. You can see we now a little bit extended from the bottom in the cloud here. So there is the potential for a relief rally swing trade from this cluster of support back up to 16,628 front end of the cloud there, and then by that time the standard line of the cloud would have caught up there and flatlined in that zone. So that's the bottom of the cloud is the upside resistance targets, and that will only play out if support comes in at this zone. And we can see the lagging line also finding support at this level, and this is a significant support zone on the 3-hour Ichimoku cloud. So keep an eye on the 3-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame also giving us a nice support zone. So critical for support to come in here. If support fails here, then we could dip back down to the 16,300 zone. So keep an eye on that one. Until next time, happy cloud chart trading. Bye for now.